Well, long time no see. We are back on it this evening because we do have yet another severe thunderstorm warning that is now out for the next round that is beginning to move on in. Our tornado warning, technically still in effect for far eastern Barron County, but the potential there is... It's out of Barron County. It's on top of Tompkinsville right now, Edmonton, into Metcalfe County, and that is pushing out of the region. We are done with that supercell, but we are watching the next round that is beginning to move on into the WABBLES community here as we get towards 8:45 on this Friday evening, and very active Friday evening at that. This new severe thunderstorm warning takes in all of Butler County, the northern parts of Logan County, northwestern parts of Warren County, and into Edmonson County, northwestern Edmonson County. That is as well as adjacent areas of Grayson and Ohio counties just outside of our area. This is the back edge that we'll be pushing in over the next little bit. The National Weather Service is being very proactive in warning ahead of this. The potential there for 70-mile-per-hour winds and hail to the size of quarters, which obviously we don't need to see any more hail tonight. We've already seen absolutely massive hail that has already pushed through the WABBLES community, especially when that storm went over Bowling Green. Look at the light show we have out there just below this down here on some of our other cam reviews. When you're looking at that Russellville camera, the Morgantown camera, and our Barron River Lake camera, we are seeing incredible lightning as this gets ready to push in. So the severe weather threat, we've got a little bit before this starts to move in. All right, a lot of folks probably asking, this is next. All right, and this will be pushing in over the next 30 minutes or so. The warning itself goes until 9:30, and it's being warned for 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts and quarter-size hail. This is moving to the east at 60 miles an hour. So as this pushes on to the east, it's not going to stay in any one location very long, but the potential will continue to be there for damaging winds especially. Excuse me. This will be pushing into our area, our coverage area, really as we head towards the next 15 minutes. Rochester by about... here in about 15 minutes, Cool Springs in about 15 minutes, Schultztown in 17 minutes, toward Logansport in 21 minutes, toward Morgantown in 25 minutes. So Sheila's asking about timing for Scottsville. We have a while to go with this one. Scottsville obviously is down here, and we've got a little bit to go before this moves in. This leading edge is going to move in to places like Morgantown first. It's going to move into areas north of Russellville first. And we can't forget that there is still a tornado warning back here. I always forget to turn off the track tool. The tornado warning... north of Hopkinsville, with the southern edge of this cell, which would be the place for it. That's what we would call a tail end Charlie is the term for it. We'll reset the radar here. The term for that is kind of tail end Charlie. It's being able to take advantage more of what's moving on into the area. It's able to take advantage of the southerly winds to try to spin something up. And it did at one point have a tornado report with it back in Caldwell County, south and east of Princeton. As it stands, this is radar indicated, and it's 2 counties away. We'll watch it. But again, Timing for Bowling Green, we're talking probably about an hour. Man, that lightning. That is incredible lightning. You're seeing it from our Morgantown camera. Landon's got that working this evening. Our WRUS camera, you see the lightning off in the distance. We got a little bit to go, but the wind with this line of storms, as it begins to push toward the region, or push into the Wobbles area. If you'll excuse me, just reshuffling the desk a little bit. It's easier with the view because of the camera angle to scoot things over. We've got keyboards. We've got, all kinds of fun things on the... I've got 5 keyboards on this desk. But I just wanted to get my Weather Service chat monitor in front of me. Yeah, there's the official cancellation of the tornado warning for Barron County, which is not a surprise. The storm's been out of Barron County for a while, and that will continue to push on off to the east. That is now east of Edmonton. That's pushing over toward the southern parts of Adair County, which is well outside of our area, here over the next little bit. So, again, the potential here is for 60-mile-per-hour winds. You've got a little bit of time. We're probably still about 10 to 15 minutes away from this into Rochester, which is kind of almost the very far western edge of our, of Butler County. It's not the very far western edge of our viewing area, or our coverage area. That would be over into the western parts. A concern for tornadoes, or is it mostly straight-line winds? The threat for the straight-line winds is going to be bigger with this one. So what happens is these storms are beginning to congeal into a line, and it is harder for those lines to produce the big-time tornadoes. It's not impossible, but straight-line winds in excess of 70 miles per hour are going to be the threat with this line as it pushes in. Can you get a spin-up tornado? Absolutely. But they tend to be more brief, they tend to be shorter-lived, but they can still do damage. I don't think we're done with the tornado threat. I think the big-time tornado threat is lower with this line, especially because, you get in all these lines, these storms are now competing with one another for the same amount of fuel, and so they're going to start to weaken and play off of each other, and it's harder to get a lot of tornadic activity. John's asking, is this line going to drop into Russellville eventually? This line's got to come through the whole area before we're finished with this threat tonight. Once we get on the other side of this, we're done. But still a ways to go. This is going to continue to sink to the east and the south and east over the next, few minutes or so, over the next few hours or so, really. As this will continue to push in. Again, the tornado threat is there. It's not zero, but the straight line wind threat is going to be the big threat, the bigger threat with this line that is pushing in. Okay? The heavy rain and the heavy wind currently, it's just outside the latest threat is at the moment, but this is pushing in. So what the Weather Service did is they proactively moved ahead and issued this warning well out in advance of these storms, which is why, things are not there yet. And you see it just north of our area. We were talking about the spin-up tornado threat. That's what you're seeing there. Areas south of Hardinsburg, Kentucky, west of Elizabethtown, north of Litchfield. That's Breckenridge, Hardin, and Grayson County. That's outside of our area, but still under a tornado, or now under a tornado warning. So it is something we will continue to watch. Right now, our greatest threat is going to be for straight line wind damage, but anytime you can get a little kink in these storms, these were and are embedded supercell thunderstorms, and they can still rotate. But the potential for the bigger tornadoes is lower, but it's still there. A lot of folks asking about your area. Yes, it's going to come through. Glasgow, Scottsville, everywhere. It's got to come through before the severe weather threat is over, and it will be here it will start to move in within the next 30 minutes. So places like Morgantown, where the camera is currently doing its little whirly-do to try to drop the rain off of it. Eventually we'll get back to the widespread light show that we are continuing to watch. Push on through. Likely getting some showers starting to work on in. But again, our threat here is for 70-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-size hail. I would say the wind threat probably outweighs the hail threat at this point. And getting a good vantage point, a little bit of a better vantage point from the Fort Campbell radar as that continues to scoot on off to the north, or as it's looking off to the north, the storms are moving east at 65 miles per hour. So they're not hanging out in any one location very long, but it is something we need to watch, because this does continue. Bear with me, just looking at a couple of off-camera radar sources. Those of you who don't know, when I'm talking to you, the radars here are switching is over here, and then your comments are over here. Amanda's asking, the major wind threat in Rochester? Yes. It's coming in right now. And I have another auxiliary monitor up above where I can look at some other sources. Sorry, the Weather Service is issuing on another line. They're issuing on the line that's finally pushing through Louisville, for those folks, with more wind as this pushes through. This is going to be close to, basically the main threat now is going to be anywhere south of Interstate 64. We're well south of Interstate 64, so east and eventually southeast, this is going to continue to work on in. Asking about Berea, that's well outside of our area. We've still got some time for these storms for you. You've still got the first round to go through, so you're not going to be over with this until probably closer to midnight Eastern. The tornado risk goes until this storm pushes through. And so it's going to continue to push on through. The tornado threat will be there until these lines are through. I expect it'll be through the area all the way by midnight. We've got some time. Again, Litchfield's outside of our area. You're going to get the potential for 60 to 70 mile per hour winds. Really, everyone within the sound of my voice will have the potential for 60 to 70 mile per hour winds. That includes Morgantown. That includes Russellville, eventually. That includes Brownsville, Bowling Green, Franklin, Scottsville, and Glasgow. Every community we serve in Bowling Green and the surrounding counties, the WABBLES region, has the potential for 60 to 70 mile per hour winds for the rest of the night. Does that mean you are going to see it? No, but it means the threat is there. Okay, and that's why we have to take these seriously. Somebody's asking what radar site we're using. Right now I'm looking north from Hopkinsville. I used to work in the broadcast sector, if you couldn't tell. And one thing that I wasn't a huge fan of myself was when they overlapped multiple radars. They would have the Hopkinsville radar, and they would have the Nashville radar and the Louisville radar all on top of each other. I think that gets confusing. So the single site stuff, and a lot of the software we use has single site radar view, is much, much better in my opinion, because it allows you to get kind of one view of the storm. You can switch and kind of see which different views. Ashley saying, does that mean WABBLES remains in a threat until midnight? Once this line is through, your threat's done. So once the line, we still have that threat. And it's going to take longer in places like Scottsville, in places like Glasgow, in places like Franklin, than it will for places like Rochester and Morgantown, just because we've still got, it's just geography. But our severe thunderstorm warning right now is in place for Butler County, northwest Edmonson County, and northern Logan County. and this runs until 9:30. So we have 32 minutes left on this warning. The warning is 4 quarters. We're not seeing much in the way of rotation, and that is a good sign. Brittany's asking, when is this going to hit Bowling Green? Likely within the next hour or two. If you would feel more comfortable going to a shelter, I would suggest you go to a shelter. I can't know your risk tolerance, but if you are concerned, I would go to a public shelter or take your shelter. Not everybody is going to see the 70-mile-per-hour winds, but everybody has that opportunity. We also have the threat for spin-up. This is closer to your briefer spin-up tornadoes, but those can still do damage. So, again, I can't know your risk tolerance, but we need to keep an eye on it as we head through the evening hours. We've got no reports in the last little bit of anything that's working through right now. But, again, we're with you until this line goes through. Ross is asking how fast this is moving. About 65 miles an hour. Not quite the speed limit on the interstate, but close. Stuck behind a semi on the interstate, we'll put it that way. Really, all up and down this line is made up of what used to be individual supercells. They're beginning to congeal into a line that usually takes away the bigger tornado threat. Can't rule out a tornado, but the bigger threat is going to be straight line winds with this, and that has the potential to produce winds of 60 to 70 miles per hour, which is why the severe thunderstorm warning carries what's called a considerable tag. And it's something we need to watch very closely. So again, this is now starting to move into places like Rochester and into Logansport, Cromwell, which is just on the other side of the Ohio County line from Butler County. Right now into northern Logan County, we're dealing with some showers, some light rain, Lewisburg to Chandler's Chapel. The northern side of the county is under this warning. This, for now, is north of Russellville. Again, we've got a little bit to go here as this pushes through. Blake's asking about Horse Cave, which is in Hart County. It's right on the other side of our coverage area in southern Hart County. Probably have about at least an hour. It's moving at 65 miles per hour. So Horse Cave would be, let's just take this straight east at 65. That would put it in Horse Cave 54 minutes, a little before 10 o'clock. So we've got a ways to go. More of these little downpours getting going ahead of things, even producing lightning now east of Dimple, right along the Warren-Barron County line. That's not severe, but it is reacting to the cooler air that's being breathed out by these storms as they continue to push to the east. Further off to the west, still watching this little... it's almost like the kind of the curlicue on the northern edge of that back line, back near between Murray and Benton. Tornado warning there. If that holds together, we'd be talking about places like, it's still got a ways to go, but we'd be talking places like Russellville in about an hour if it holds together. Again, we have seen quite a bit of overworking so far. Throughout the evening hours, that supercell that we were tracking about an hour ago, that's still going. That got started in like central Missouri today. That dropped a tornado in southern Illinois. That went over Paducah. That went north of Hopkinsville, and now it's south of Columbia in Adair County. So we are dealing with quite a bit of we have dealt with quite a bit of severe weather today. I still think there's some on the table these storms, I mean, look at the lightning with these. The storms will eventually start to diminish as we head later on into the evening hours. Really quick, before the storms really start to move in earnest, I've got to grab some water. You can hear I've been coughing for a little while, so I'll be right back. I'm gonna throw the radar up just for a moment, and we will quickly come back. So let me grab a swig, and I'll be right back with you. And we're back. All right. Severe thunderstorm warning continues for Butler, Edmondson, western Edmondson, and northern Logan County. This runs until 9:30. I imagine this will eventually get extended east. This also takes in far northwestern Warren County, Rockland, Riverside, up 165 there, Hadley, Guy, Benleo. That's going to continue to scoot to the east. Eventually, this whole thing will continue to bring us. I would imagine we'll see more severe thunderstorm warnings issued. Man, that cell is still going, which is nothing short of incredible. That cell pushing into... it's now pushing into areas near Lake Cumberland. That's incredible. East of us, don't have to worry about it. But still, Cole says hard wind and rain in Logansport. Safet asking, I hope I'm saying that right, the next wave tornado concern or high winds. More high winds. Can't rule out a spin-up tornado. But the little engine that could, yes. At some point, the author of that's going to have to file a copyright claim against that supercell because that is incredible. It is very rare to get supercells that maintain their rotation for that long. One of the threats going into today was the potential for long-lived supercells that could... it could drop tornadoes and strong tornadoes. I don't think, obviously, a tornado has not been on the ground the whole time with that cell that's pushed to the east. It was more of a hailer here in Bowling Green, where we had multiple reports of golf ball to up to baseball size hail. Linda's asking about Franklin. Eventually, this whole line's got to move through before we're done. It may take an hour. It may take 2 hours to get toward Franklin. And the storms may eventually start to calm down a little, especially once we get things worked over. But places like really anywhere south of a line from Russellville to Plano-ish to Haywood, like the southern half of Logan County, all of Allen and Simpson counties, southern half of Barron County hasn't seen anything so far. Linda's asking, we're under a tornado watch till 10. I'm sure that's going to get extended probably. The National Weather Service, they're doing incredible work tonight. They haven't gotten to extending that watch. It's a little less of a concern immediately to make sure that the watch is extended or trimmed back, even though I think pretty much everybody is aware of that. Tony's asking, was that the cell from St. Louis? No, that ended up going up near, I believe that was the cell Yeah, that was the cell, I think, that worked through Bloomington, Indiana earlier, which produced the potential for a tornado up near the IU campus. Austin saying a lot of lightning in Morgantown. We're seeing it. In fact, let's pull that up real quick. We have access to our camera there, our Morgantown sky. Maybe. Maybe. Sorry, I don't know if it was doing that or if Landon's adjusting things right now. Glenn is asking about Grayson County under a tornado warning. Northern side of the county is there under a tornado warning. That is outside of our coverage area. But there's the view from Morgantown. The light show is exquisite. Here this evening, the same thing from our WRUS camera in Russellville, looking off to the west. That light show, I mean, you can see the base of that, the scuddliness there with that cell with the storms as they continue to work on in. That's well off to the west. Actually, if we're looking out toward Lewisburg. But at this point, Caleb's asking for a camera Bowling Green. Bowling Green's not the concern right now. We've got a while to go. There is no active weather in Bowling Green right now. When will Russellville be clear? It'll probably be a little bit. You're going to get that light show for a while. We still need this kind of back edge to move through. And the question is, does this start to sink southward, or does the do we need to wait for that embedded cell back near Murray to move through? That's just something we're going to have to sit here and watch. Coming up on Morgantown now, we will switch the camera again back to the Morgantown camera. Right now, if you don't have to be, don't. Holy, really? Wow. Sorry. Outside of our area, but a report that just came in from the Weather Service, it appears that the Louisville Airport, Louisville Muhammad Ali, got hit by an 81 mile per hour wind gust. That's insane. Latency issues. So bear with us there. Sorry, having some latency issues. Jessica's just joining. Storms coming toward Bowling Green have the potential to produce tornadoes. Yes, it's not the main threat. The main threat is going to be damaging winds in excess of 60 to 70 miles per hour. Once we get past this line, we're done. But we've got a little bit to go there before this thing is said and done. Storms moving into Morgantown right now have the potential to produce those 60 to 70 mile per hour wind gusts. But 81 up in Louisville as that pushed through. That is remarkable. You can see the first round still pushing now into eastern Kentucky. Tornado warnings near Lake Cumberland. Tornado warning west of Moorhead. For us, we have no tornado warnings right now. But our severe thunderstorm warnings continue until 9:30 for all of Butler County, the northwestern part of Edmonson County, northwest of Brownsville, but not at the moment. We'll put the radar back up so you can see it. Northwest side of Bowling Green. This is well north and west of downtown. This is Hadley, Rockland, Riverside. Nicole's asking if scud clouds could become wall clouds with the tornado. It's kind of a different mechanism. You need the rotation in the thunderstorm for the wall cloud to happen. The scud clouds are is kind of the inflow into the storm. It's sucking in warm, moist air, and as it rises, it's condensing. Morning continues also for northern parts of Logan County. Storms just now starting to scoot in there. Hollow Bill, Agnes, Deer Lick, Wolf Lick. Y'all like to lick animals up there. Everybody needs a hobby. Up that way, Diamond. Anyway. Either way, next, there's a tornado warning off to our north again. Tornado warning that does not include any of our area. It's very close to the northern border of Edmonson County, but still north of that. Nothing severe in Brownsville right now, but likely some getting in on some heavy rain, a little bit of lightning, heavy rain and wind in Provo, in Butler County. Yeah. Bear with me, folks. I'm not sure why we're dealing with some of the latency issues and the some of the problems with the breaking up. It'll kind of come and go. My stats here tell me about 5.5% of everything I've said has just been into the ether. But just bear with me here. Doing the best we can. They're deploying fiber in the neighborhood soon, and so hopefully that will help at some point. Zared is asking about Butler County. It's moving in right now. Morgantown on to Aberdeen, Welch's Creek, and Leetown and Quality getting in on the potential for 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-size hail. I think our hail threat is a little bit lower with this. Let's look at let's see. Hail threat lower with this. I'm not looking at much hail at the moment. You don't get as much hail in these big lines versus like the supercells that we were dealing with earlier. Pushing to the east again. This will be in Woodbury here soon. And that's coming right down I-165. Yeah, somebody says my subtitles aren't working. My hearing is fine, but I can't hear without them. Same way. I turn the subtitles on everything every time I watch something on the internet. And yeah, we're having again some connectivity issues. It's coming and going. Bear with us. Bear with me. Just with the storminess, and we're on old copper lines. That can do the trick there as that scoots on through. And again, we have to watch this right here. You see where this has started to kind of bow a little bit. Kind of got that backward C shape. That's a terrible drawing. Right there. Leetown to Dimple. That's where we could be getting a push of wind that could get up towards 60 to 70 miles per hour. Again, I was never an artist. Bear with me. That's about it. So the streaming software we use, I can look down and it will tell me what the connection is. So, work problem. It's not... All right, again, I can see it. If I stop talking, I'm either getting some new information or I see the thing that says my network connection is rough. So, bear with me. Let's look at this on the inside. Let's see what this is doing near land between the lakes. That is a big push of wind right there. That's where the potential for a spin-up would be. And this is near Canton, Kentucky. This is south of Cadiz. The potential is there. We're going to have to watch that cell. That was near Murray not long ago. So these things are hauling. 65 miles an hour. You know, that'll get there. Travis says the stream seems fine. Yeah. Is that some broad level rotation south of Leetown? I'm not seeing much rotation with these particular cells. It's not really. It's maybe a little bit kind of on the leading edge, but that's not enough that I would be alarmed by it. So these storms continue to push in and turn the double box. Push east at about shake itself off. Is that same gust? Yeah. Sorry, I got the Weather Service chat feed is down here. That's got the that's got that and that gust again of about 82 miles an hour up in Louisville. That's insane. They continue to warn on this line up there. So yeah, this is a different view. We're looking further south and looking up into the storm. It's possible that there's a little bit of something there. It doesn't jump out to me. We're looking higher up, too. The vantage point there, for instance, we're looking a little higher up at the storm. So, like from Fort Campbell, we're looking at about 2,600 feet. From Nashville, Old Hickory, that's what OHX stands for, because it's out near Old Hickory Lake, the Weather Service office out there. More useless trivia. We're looking near 4,500 feet, so we're higher up. So it wouldn't shock me if there's some broad rotation in there, but the threat there is not high for a tornado. I think the threat is higher for 60 to 70 mile per hour winds, and those will be pushing into Warren County here shortly. Ryan said crazy wind in Woodbury. That's that leading edge. You kind of see it there. See where we've got this little bowing hook, or it's not a hook, but a little bowing segment where we have that little enhancement. It wouldn't shock me if we tried to bring some more of that wind down to the ground. We're just checking some information again. Main threat with this is going to continue to be damaging winds in excess of 60 to 70 miles per hour. We've added now Warren County, the rest of Warren County, including downtown Bowling Green, to the severe thunderstorm warning. This is just a severe thunderstorm warning, but again, the potential will be there for winds to 70 miles an hour as these push through. Brownsville in the warning as well. The rest of Edmonson County, northwestern Barron County, basically Park City and Cave City, points off to the north and west. We added in places like areas north of Auburn. Auburn is not in this. Chandler's Chapel was in the first one and is in the second one. This one is further east from the Morgantown one. So, yeah. The good news with this, the tornado threat is lower. It's not zero. It's never really zero, but especially not tonight. Sorry, I was looking up some stats. Fellow Hilltoppers on TV up in Louisville talking about the gusts they had. The other good news is that this is not much of a hail threat, which is good because we have seen golf ball size hail in our area tonight, which is quite rare. Happens rarely. It happened May 8th of last year. That was more up into Butler and Edmonson counties versus today was mainly in Warren County. But still, that is considerable hail. And our main threat with this is going to continue to be the potential for 70 mile per hour winds as this pushes through. We're getting some development ahead. This is not severe. Could contain some heavy rain north of Brownsville toward Windyville and Asphalt. And some now on top of Bowling Green. But that's not severe. The severe will be pushing in from Butler County here over the next few minutes or so. The warning goes until 10 o'clock. Northern Logan, southeastern Butler, Warren, southeastern Grayson, and these adjacent parts just outside of our coverage area. Far northwestern Barron, that's basically Cave City and Park City, and then all of Edmonson County. The other thing to watch, we've been watching this tornado-warned cell out near Cadiz, out in Trigg County. That will be pushing into southern Christian County. That's 2 counties west of Logan County. We'll need to watch it. I believe that's becoming more of a linear threat. Yeah. Just looking at that, it's radar indicated. It's less of a supercell now and more of a spin up in a line. It's becoming more of a line segment. But the potential there's still there for winds to 70 with that. So we're going to be watching that back of our mind. It's not the most immediate threat at the moment. That threat will be pushing in from Butler County over the next little bit. That's where the bulk of the severe weather is now. We have that severe thunderstorm warning place for most of Warren County, northern Logan County, Edmonson County, and far northwestern Barron County until 10 o'clock. The severe thunderstorm warning for Butler County, most of Butler County, areas basically from Davis Crossroads to Sugar Grove and south in Butler County are under the second warning. Actually, they're under both right now. There's some overlap there, but until 10 o'clock is where we're getting the severe thunderstorm warning. The tag on this is considerable. That means that we are dealing with the potential for winds in excess of 70 miles per hour as that continues to push to the east. Sorry, just checking up. Excuse me. Checking up on a couple of things here. Downpours likely starting over downtown areas just east. That is going to continue to be not severe. That's kind of popping out ahead of this line that's pushing through. So the northern part of this line is going to push through basically the northern half of our area. So along and north of Bowling Green basically is where this first line is going to be. Because I know we have a lot of folks that are asking about Franklin, that are asking about Scottsville and Glasgow. It's going to be longer for you folks, further out to the west. Okay, still dealing with this. Hannah's asking, when's it going to hit Franklin? We've got a little bit. This is pushing to the east at 65. Rough timing in Alvaton, 30. Probably a little longer in Alvaton. You'll probably appear in this cone. Russellville, we're talking about a half an hour. That'll be close to 10 o'clock. Adairville, close to 10, a little after 10. Shaco, probably about 40 minutes away. Franklin, still about 50 minutes away. Somebody was asking about Alvaton. Surprised Alvaton didn't show up on this list here. Oh, there it is. About an hour out of Alvaton. From this line. We'll see how much this holds together. The Weather Service warned this for 70 mile per hour winds, likely because it's likely a deal where they are warning based on the history of this storm. Somebody was asking, Greg, when this round hits Bowling Green, is there another behind it? This is it. Ignore that cone. Again, we talked about my art skills or lack thereof. So, that's not even really art skills. The cone's not even art skills. That's just me pointing in the wrong direction, which happens fairly often. These are still moving to the east at 65. So we've got quite a bit to go here as these push off to the east. So just taking that right there. Greencastle, 5 minutes. Anna, 9 minutes. Nick, 15 minutes. Collegiate in about 18 minutes. Rhoda in about 19 minutes. Smiths Grove in 20 minutes. As this continues to push to the east. So, Nicole's saying, I think Bowling Green is clear now. No, I don't. Bowling Green is not clear until we can get all this through. The thing I'm wondering about... Dang it, I kept the cone on again. I'm like a dog after surgery. You got to remember to take the cone off at some point. How far from Bowling Green we got a ways to go. We got a little bit to go. Again, it's not going to be all night, but it will be for another hour or two before this is completely out of our area. Molly was asking about Morgantown. It's still pouring, or it's still raining. You can see the light show from these storms that are moving away. We're close to the all clear in Morgantown. Let's see. We're not all the way there yet. We're almost there, but not quite. Bowling Green, we have a little while. A lot of folks asking about Bowling Green. It's still a ways out. It's going to be a little bit. I'm just checking my surroundings. It's good situational awareness. Brownsville, it's getting ready to move in on top of you right now. Windyville is living up to its name, no pun intended, as we are continuing to watch the potential for 60 to 70 mile per hour winds pushing into Edmonson County, pushing into the northwestern side of Warren County, and through the southern parts of Butler County. Morgantown is finished with this cell, but we're not all... we're close. I'm close. We're not all the way there yet. I need to see what this little segment does. This little east-west segment between Leetown and back to Crofton. That could still equal some very heavy rain. The gusty winds a little less with that one. It's not warned. I'll be interested to see if that area near Hopkinsville, if that continues off to the east, or if it starts to go a little south of east. If it starts to go a little south of east, we may be able to calm things down a touch, but we're not done yet. So there's the view from the from Fort Campbell radar. Why? Sorry, hang on. And we'll push this east. There we go. 60, not 658 miles an hour. They're moving fast, but not that fast. 65. This will be pushing into our region. That's Oak Grove. Within about 10 minutes. Let's see. It's further off to the south. New severe thunderstorm warning there comes up to our border there. I just saw it come out for Christian and Todd. Sorry. Let's see. Olmsted in 21 minutes, Lickskill at 23, Agnes in 25, Dot in 26. So we're still a half hour out from places in Logan County. I'm interested in that little area near Fearsville. What a name for a town, right? Need to watch that area. It's well to the west of where we are still in our area. But we need to watch that little segment right there near Fearsville. Fearsville is in northeastern Christian County. And now that's east of Fearsville. It's moving toward Oval and Mount Tabor. That's in Todd County. That's the other side of Logan County. But we need to watch that because it's showing a little bit of a sign of rotation, at least a messy rotation with that storm. So we'll watch it. Further on to the east where our region is, we have a severe thunderstorm warning. For our severe thunderstorm warning continues. We're likely seeing quite a bit of heavy rain on top of Smith's Grove right now. Nobody likes soggy beaver nuggets. So we'll watch it. But the other thing we're going to watch as this storm moves in is a lot of times you get this push of wind on the leading edge, and that can cause some big-time shelf cloudiness. Look at this. That's the view from the D93 Skycam right now in Bowling Green. And let me center it up a little bit more. This is not wanting to cooperate with me tonight. Tell you what. If Landon's with me and listening in the background, if you could maybe scoot that camera a little further to the right. If anyone's seen the movie Raising Arizona, a classic from 1987, turn to the right. Nick Cage, Holly Hunter. There we go. I should be able to get it now. Oh, we already did it. Thank you very much. Sorry, there's a little bit of a delay there. Yeah. Shelf cloud pushing in on the D93 Skycam. Asking about going to a tornado shelter soon in Bowling Green. This storm does not have rotation with it right now. And Hope's asking about Bowling Green. This is moving in. That's the shelf cloud. That's the leading edge of the stronger wind gusts pushing in. I can't know your risk tolerance, so I can't know how your house is built, what it's made of, where it is. If you feel that you would be safer going to a shelter, go to shelter, but you're running out of time as this pushes in. This is likely more of a 60 than a 70. If I had to guess right now, I think we're starting to see these storms start to become, we call it outflow dominated. The storms are breathing out the cooler air, and that condenses into a shelf cloud like that. That is a heck of a shelf. That is one heck of a shelf. That is pushing into downtown Bowling Green. It's ominous looking. It is not necessarily indicative of severe weather. In this case, there is severe weather, but it in itself is just a push of the leading edge of the rainfall pushing in. Haley was asking about Brownsville. On top of you now. Once this pushes through, I think we're getting close to wrapping it up. And once these storms go through, That's it. We're done for the night. This is not like last month, a month and a half ago, where we were dealing with storms well past midnight. It's 9:40 right now. And that will be for... So what the Weather Service is doing here is they are warning that whole line segment. So basically from Bardstown to Bowling Green, from Munfordville to Danville, they've issued this big warning. They're warning out ahead. They're giving people the... is Morgantown clear? Looking like it at this point. Nothing severe right now. Look at that shelf as it goes through. Look at the speed on that. That's the underside of the shelf, the leading edge of the heavy... That's incredible. Again, it's a little scary looking, but it's not crazy. It's not tornadic or anything like that, but that is something special to look at. Meteorologically, that is incredible. Just looking at the underside. Bowling Green, it's moving through now. I think the intensity's come down a little bit on this. The warning that was just extended for the rest of Warren, Eastern Edmondson, Northern Barron, that is part of a larger warning that is warning for a large area from Bardstown to Glasgow, and it's a large area. So I don't think 70-mile-per-hour winds are a guarantee. We need to watch it, though. That's why we're here. It is starting to fall apart a little bit. I'll give it that. That's a good sign, because we don't need any more rain. Mackenzie's asking about Warren County. That's what we're talking about. This is pushing through. You're seeing the shelf cloud right there. Right here. That's it pushing through. This is not a PDS tornado or severe thunderstorm warning. It's a considerable tag. It's not a particularly dangerous situation, I don't believe. Yeah, this is not a PDS. We are getting some gusty winds here. Here at the Bluegrass Compound. Yeah, the Weather Service is issuing these warnings for huge swaths of real estate. Basically, they've got it warned from, what is that, Carlisle and Cynthiana, all the way. We are not done for areas south of Bowling Green. I know a lot of folks are asking those questions. We're not done yet. We need to watch this storm that is pushing through Todd County. I suspect we'll see another severe thunderstorm warning coming shortly for at least Logan, maybe Simpson, Southern Warren. This is actually, I've never seen that. That is a destructive severe thunderstorm warning for Todd and Christian County. That is the highest the damage indicators go, or the tags. They call them impact-based warning tags. It goes base, which is your 60s, your considerable, which is 70 to 75, and then 80 to 90 is destructive. The Weather Service in Paducah has warned this for destructive wind. That's moving through Elkton, and we're going to have to deal with that, it looks like. Let me stress, in Louisville is going with 70 for that. So This is a new severe thunderstorm warning for most of Logan, all of Simpson, Western Allen, and so they're putting damage threat considerable for 70, not 90. Either way, the potential will be there for damaging wind. Now we're talking Russellville, we're talking Adairville, we're talking the 431 corridor, eventually over to Franklin. So what I'm going to do is put a line track on this. And push this off to the east. Ah, shoot. Hang on. There we go. Push this off to the east at its forward speed of 70. And it's already moving fast, so take a couple minutes off of this. We're talking... Sorry. Emergency alert system. That's what we're dealing with this evening. Spa, 8 minutes. Olmsted, 9 minutes for winds in excess of 70 miles an hour, maybe stronger. The Weather Service in Paducah had this warned for 90. Weather Service in Louisville's come down to 70. But we got about 10 minutes in Russellville. Eventually, Insco, 14 minutes. Chandler's Chapel in 16 minutes. Shockoe, 18 minutes. Gasper, about 20 minutes. Richelieu, about 22. Neosho, about 22. Rockfield, 26. Franklin, you have about a half hour. Woodburn, you have about a half hour. Rich Pond, you have about a half hour. Lost River, Gold City, you have about a half hour. As a matter of fact, speaking of Gold City, let's pop them up in one of our spots here. Our bird friend is not in the picture tonight. I'll tell you that. Bowling Green, if this holds together, could impact downtown in a half hour. If it holds together, it's not a guarantee that it holds together. We have seen quite a bit of working over of the atmosphere. Yeah, Landon's right. Lick skillet better than the animal licks. They're just licking a lot of things out there. Plano, 32 minutes. Drake, 33. Boyce, 34. Plum Springs, 35. So putting the clock on that, that's going to be about 9:25. Alvaton, 9:25. Let's start this again. In fact, let's just do another track. And again, any one of these could produce a little spin-up tornado. You see this little area near Elkton. That's going to be... Glasgow, we're still watching you as well. You're a little bit further away. Obviously, you're our easternmost county seat there. Let's do another track. Shoot, I did it again. Let's do another track on this. Pushing east. At 70. Whippoorwill, 9:55. Spa, 9:56. Lewisburg, 9:58. Russellville, 9:59 to 10 o'clock. Lick Skillet, about 10 o'clock. Chandler's Chapel, about 10:05. Harper's Crossroads, about 9:25. 10:25. I'm sorry. I'm getting... My times are 10:25. Quality, 10:25. Gasper, about 10:26. Adairville, about 10:26. Hadley, about 10:26. This is coming to Bowling Green, folks. This is on its way. Sorry about 10:16. Bowling Green about 10:20, the way it looks now. So 10:20, you've got about 30 minutes. Somebody was asking about halfway. I think that was further down in my list. About 1026. I want to go back and correct myself. Hadley, about 1013. Franklin, about 1015. 1016. But again, this will have the potential to produce winds in excess of 70 miles per hour. And it's already pushing into, the far western part of the warning. Lewisburg's not under a warning right now. But the potential will be there for 60 to 70 mile per hour winds. Logan County right now is under a severe thunderstorm warning. I can't rule out a spin-up tornado. It doesn't appear likely. But this storm has had a history of rotating. So it's something we'll watch. The Weather Service is already starting to... So the Weather Service just did... We were talking earlier. They're very busy folks. Excuse me. The Weather Service was trimming up and switching up the watch. So our tornado watch now goes until 2 o'clock, midnight. I'm sorry, midnight. They give the times in Eastern because the Weather Service office is in Eastern. 1 a.m. Eastern, 12 a.m. Central. Tornado watch now continues until behind it, which is good. So the Weather Service continues this warning, this southern warning for Logan, Simpson, Southern Warren, Western Allen until 10:30. They've added what's called a tornado possible tag to it. That means history of rotation. And you can see just how, the leading edge of that, you can get a quick spin up. That's why the tornado possible tag was added to this. So we need to watch that. It's not a guarantee, obviously. This would likely be a smaller, more brief tornado. If there were to be one, there is no guarantee again of any tornadic activity. It's possible. And in fact, let's look at the Russellville camera right now because we are getting a light show pushing into Russellville. This is our WRUS camera, and you are seeing the horizontal rain, incredible cloud-to-ground lightning. And so we're still watching this cell, and again, if you look in the bottom left, that's where the radar is. It's near Danby that we'd be looking out for any kind of circulation. The main threat, though, is going to be 70 mile per hour winds. I mean, you're seeing that effect right now. That is pushing into our WRUS camera right now. The wind is blowing the rain across that camera, and now we have a tornado warning. So a tornado warning now in effect for Allen, Logan, Simpson, and Warren counties. So this takes in Russellville. This takes in downtown Bowling Green. I do think this is going to be south of Bowling Green, but I need our folks in the southern half of Warren County to pay attention to this. This is moving east at 70 miles per hour. You don't have a lot of time. There is no guarantee right here. Switch the camera back. I mean, you can see a quick spin-up tornado. However, quick spin-up tornadoes can absolutely still do damage. So we need to watch this. This is a tornado warning for northern Logan, southern Warren. We might have just... see, we're having the connectivity issues there at the WRUS camera, which makes sense because that thing is roaring. So who's in and who's out? Russellville and Auburn, Chandler's Chapel and Eppleys. You're in the tornado warning. The area most likely to see a tornado is south of Cooperstown, north of downtown Russellville, just east of Danby. All right. A lot of folks throughout Warren County are hearing the cows. If you're north of downtown, don't worry about this. Don't worry about the tornadic portion of this. The potential will be there for winds to 70, but the potential for a tornado is low in places like Smiths Grove, Gherkin, Anna, Riverside. But we need to watch areas from downtown south, Alvaton, Plano, all right, as your baseline. The area would have the most likelihood of seeing a tornado is just north of Russellville. I'm going to switch our perspective here because we're looking back into the storm from Fort Campbell. I think we can get a better look from Nashville. The hook's a little less defined. The notch is a little less defined. It's still right in there. My art skills, y'all. Just north of downtown Russellville. This is headed toward Auburn. All right? Folks asking about Auburn. This is headed toward Auburn. This is headed toward Rockfield. This is headed near Woodburn and Rich Pond and Petros. So if you're in these areas, you need to take shelter. That's under something sturdy. A basement, if you have one. If not, the lowest, an interior room on the lowest floor of the building. Right now, we have no confirmation of a tornado on the ground. I want to... Just kidding. We do now. Observed tornado near Russellville, moving east at 70. So this is an observed tornado warning. This is on the ground. This is going to be moving to Auburn, South Union. I need you in your tornado safe spot now. We have a tornado on the ground. Confirmed tornado. Sorry, I'm just checking data. We have a confirmed tornado. This is going to be near... This was near Russellville, but this is pushing east very fast, 70 miles per hour. This is a tornado confirmed north of Russellville. This likely will go south of Chandler's Chapel. All right? Let me... And you can see, this is where we're going. This is where the tornado would be, or is, moving east at 70. So, South Union, 7 minutes. Petros, 10 minutes. Less than that in Auburn, we're talking 5 minutes. If you're in a 2-story apartment, can't go lower, I would knock on your neighbor's door and say, can I hang out here for a minute? We have a tornado warning, confirmed tornado. If not, interior room, as close to the inside, as close to the to the interior as you can get. You want as many walls between you and the outside as possible. This is radar confirmed. So we haven't had a spotter see it, but we have had radar confirmation. That means that we've seen a dip in the correlation coefficient, which equals the potential for debris. So I'm looking at it. I don't see anything right away that jumps out. Likely that little area may be near 103. Let's back it up. Hang on. Looking at this, this looked to be a brief touchdown, if anything. So back it up. Look right here. This was about 7 minutes ago. I can't draw. But you see, that's where that little drop. Once we get from the beige and the pink and the purple down to that green and blue, that gives us the indication that we potentially had a touchdown of a tornado. This might have been a quick touch. This is a tornado warning that is still in effect, confirmed, radar confirmed, Logan County. We cover Logan County. It's just west of Warren County, and it's heading in our direction in Warren County, all right? It's heading very close to where Logan, Warren, and Simpson counties all come together. That's going to be near South Union. If we're not calling out your town, still observed, okay. The leading edge of this will also have the potential for 70-mile-per-hour winds. The good news is that we have knocked out Bowling Green from the warning. We're not concerned with a tornado in downtown Bowling Green. So anywhere you don't have a tornado threat. You still have the threat for 60 to 70 mile per hour winds, but your tornado threat is Warren County EM. Those cows go off for the whole county and not just the areas under the warning. They've upped this to 75 miles an hour. Looking at velocity here. Right, yes. These are where we need to watch. These little Nashville reds moving away. That's where you get the indication of some rotation in the thunderstorm. Folks saying their live keeps cutting out. We're doing our best here. All right, we're dealing with storms in the area. That can affect the internet connection quality. Just because we're dealing with so much rain. Butler County is getting some very heavy rain south of Morgantown. There is nothing severe in Butler County. Painesville, that is we're not going to be your big source for information on Paintsville, I'm sorry. Paintsville. A year and a half and you forget which county seats in which county. But our focus needs to be on Auburn and South Union. That's where a tornado is possible. The warning still says this is a confirmed tornado. I'm not seeing it's... We need to watch it. Bear with me here. Just checking things. South side of Bowling Green. This is south of downtown. If you're anywhere south of downtown, south of the WKU campus, south, this would be a quick spin up, if anything. But those can still do damage. And we need to watch this. This is coming to where Logan, Warren, and Simpson counties all come together. For areas further to the west, Russellville, you're likely getting in on still some very heavy rain. The gusty winds are pushing to your east. The tornado threat is to your east. You are no longer in the tornado warning. Adairville, you are not in the tornado warning at all, and you haven't been. But likely some 60 to 70 mile per hour winds will be possible. But here's the good news. Once these storms are done, that's it. That's the end of the threat for us tonight. And that's good, because we have seen quite a bit of severe weather excuse me, in the region today. In our area, we've seen quite a bit of large hail. And damaging winds. We're not done yet. We're close. We're not done yet. Downtown, likely getting in, downtown Bowling Green, likely getting in on some very heavy rain and severe winds, potentially. Mahir is asking if the tornado is still on the ground. If it's anywhere, it's here. That would be far northwest Simpson County, well north of Franklin, but that's going to skirt right along the Warren and Simpson County line. So I need folks in Woodburn, I need folks in Matlock and Drake to be in your safe spot now. Those tornado precautions now. This is still observed, and we don't take that lightly. Even though looking at the... Yeah, that velocity couplet... Well, it's not the velocity couplet. Let's look at the velocity. Yeah, right there near 73, north of Turnertown, where 73 and 621 come together. That's Morgantown Road and Stevenson Road. That is where that threat would be, and this is moving right toward Woodburn. All right? This is moving toward Woodburn at 75 miles an hour. You don't have a lot of time in Woodburn. Looking at the velocity cup, or we're looking at the velocity. I'm going to go over here and we're going to look at the correlation coefficient. That tells us if we're seeing any lofted debris. Maybe. It's messy. It's very messy in here. I'm sorry. Let me take that off. But again, this is quickly moving to the east at 75 miles per hour. Okay, the good news is we've now officially taken Logan County out of the tornado warning. This is no longer observed. This is now radar indicated. Still dangerous, but the likelihood is that this tornado is now not on the ground anymore. Doesn't mean it can't touch back down. But even so, I need Woodburn to be in your safe spot right now. About Bowling Green. Bowling Green likely seeing potentially 60-mile-per-hour winds, but the likelihood here is that the tornado is well to your south. The cows are going off in Warren County, and in Scottsville, the sirens. That's going to go off in the whole county whenever a warning is out for any part of the county. So even folks in Smiths Grove who are nowhere close to where this tornado warning is are hearing their sirens. In Scottsville, this is well off to your northwest right now, but you're hearing the sirens. You're not even in a severe thunderstorm warning, but the whole county, even all the way out to Fountain Run. Fountain Run's technically in Monroe County, but you get the point. The tornadic part of the storm is moving south of Bowling Green, but we are still dealing with potentially 60 to 70 mile per hour winds in Bowling Green. They won't last long, but we need to watch it carefully. For northern Simpson, northwest Allen, and southern Warren, this is Woodburn, this is Matlock, Drake, Plano, and Alvaton. This is not Rockfield. This is not Bowling Green or Polkville or Plum Springs. But this is pushing east through Warren County. Downtown Bowling Green has the potential for winds to 6 very shortly. Again, this is coming very close to Woodburn. Right in here. It's about to cross 31W between Salmons and Woodburn. If you look on the left panel, this is the county line. Warren County, Simpson County. This is pushing east at 70. New scan on the velocity. That's better. I don't see that kink like I did anymore as prevalent. But again, watching it closely. Obscene wind and rain. I believe it. Let me do something here. Let me pull. Having a little bit of trouble with the D93 cam in downtown Bowling Green. Having a little bit of trouble with it. That's why it's gray down there. You don't see a whole lot. The Russellville camera's been stuck for a while because my guess is they've lost power. The good news is the severe weather threat is now ending for Russellville. If you are in Russellville, if you are in Morgantown, back toward Rochester, Welch's Creek, your severe weather threat is over. Close to it in Brownsville, almost. Right now, the tornado warning is radar indicated, and this is well south of downtown Bowling Green. A lot of power outages. People saying power flickering in Plano, no power Nashville Road, Cumberland Trace, Plum Springs, Russellville. Yes, I would absolutely believe it. Let me pull up and see what we've got in terms of power outages. If I can type. Yeah, we are well without power through much of the region. This is the map. Well, that's automated, but a lot of tornado threat is south of Bowling Green right now. It's not a huge threat. We're having some skipping and jumping on the feed. It happens. Quite a few outages. This is the Warren RACC map that I'm going to pull up here. Quite a few in the BGMU area near Lambkin Park, just north of campus. And again, we're still dealing with the potential for winds in excess of 60 to 70 miles per hour. So let's see here. I'm going to switch things up a little bit. And so our Russellville camera, everything's east of Russellville. Our Russellville camera froze because it is a camera view from Lover's Lane. We had it, yeah. Obviously, we're having connection trouble. We're having power issues widespread in Warren County now. I'm going to switch us to a 3-camera view. By the magic of the chicken. Here's where we are. And southeastern Edmondson. The leading edge of this storm is now east of downtown Bowling Green and headed towards Smiths Grove. 60 to 70 mile per hour winds will be possible. The tornado warning includes the very far southern part of Warren County, the northern part of Simpson County, north of downtown Franklin, and northwestern Allen County. That is well northwest of Scottsville. My goodness. Sorry, I'm just looking at something else. A PDS tornado warning is in effect. That is incredible. A PDS tornado warning is in effect east of Summers, between Somerset and London, out in southeast Kentucky. That's insane, because that cell has been going now for multiple hours. So if you know anybody between Somerset and London, let them know that they have a very serious situation in place. For us, situation worth paying attention to, but a little less serious. We still do have that tornado warning. It's set to expire in 11 minutes. But I'm not seeing anything that is alarming. You can still get a quick spin up on the leading edge. I'm going to put a track on this as it continues to push eastward. Oh, wait a minute. I'm going to switch back to linear mode. We'll take the velocity off for a minute, zoom in. See what it does to me. You see what it does. Anyway, we need to watch areas near Smiths Grove where that's bowing out. This is moving east at 70. So Franklin on top of you now. Severe weather is likely. 60-mile-per-hour winds pushing to the east quickly. Lisa's asking tornado warning. It's still in effect, but this is well south of downtown. But Smiths Grove, basically now. Hydro, now. Martinsville, 4 minutes. Railton, 4 minutes. Claypool, 5 minutes. Finney, 7 minutes. Calebi at 7 minutes. Basically, within the next 10 minutes for places in eastern Warren and northern Allen, northern Allen and far southern Edmondson County. Halfway, 12 minutes. Glasgow, 13. Scottsville, 14. With any luck, we can get this out of here in the next half hour because these things are cooking. This has it. Okay, we now have a new tornado warning. So this now includes downtown Scottsville. Tornado warning, far southern Warren County. Far eastern Simpson County. And now most of Allen County. A tornado warning now. Most of Allen County. This is indicated a tornado warning for southern Warren. This does not include Bowling Green. Warren County, Drake and Boyce. This is the area in Simpson County, Blackjack, Gold City, and Temperance. And then into most of Allen County, including downtown Scottsville. Okay, this takes in downtown Scottsville. And it's kind of right here. You get these two little bowing segments. One on the eastern side of Simpson County and another on the very far northern part of Allen County. And you can get a little bit of rotation there, and that's what we're seeing right here. That is going to be near Temperance. Temperance Road, Drake Road. That's Kentucky 622. It's Temperance Road, part of it, and part of it's Drake Road, where it's kind of concurrent there with Hinson and Harris Road. It's kind of a messy four-way right there. Four-way intersection there. This is going to be south of Drake. This will be moving toward Pope, not Mark, and Butlersville. So right here, it's become a little more diffuse, but right here, and this is moving to the southeast at 55. So a tornado warning for most of Allen County, but it also clips Warren and Simpson, which is why the sirens are still going off even in places that have no threat anymore, like up toward Richardsville and Hadley. And really, Oakland is still under a severe thunderstorm warning in Oakland, but, you know, this is far southern Warren County. Anything near the medical center, likely some very heavy rain, some gusty winds. Lewisburg, people saying they had a touchdown a little bit ago. Yeah, Pete walked into that one. Anything for the medical center area near Bowling Green. Likelihood there is very heavy rain. They had a 65-mile-per-hour gust in Woodburn. So this is for real in terms of the damaging wind threat. 59 at the Warren-Barron County, or excuse me, the Bowling Green Warren County Airport. So that is severe. So we verified severe, which is why the warning is out. The good news is, I didn't say no threat in Smiths Grove. So the tornado threat is low in Smiths Grove, but that is pushing east now through Smiths Grove. That'll be pushing into Barron County here soon. Basically a half hour and we'll be done. But we need to watch especially carefully near Pope. All right, you see this little notch right here. That's where you can sneak a that is where you can sneak a quick spin up. So we still need to watch out. Near Pope, and this is pushing on to the south and east. So Red Hill, Chapel Hill. Threat continues. Red Hill, Chapel Hill, down toward Petroleum. This is going to come close to Scottsville, perhaps a little bit to the west. New severe thunderstorm warning now. Far eastern Warren, all of Barron, and all of Allen, and far southeastern Simpson until 11:15. But also this warning goes all the way out to Columbia, so it's likely that that will be trimmed back. Once this push is through, we're done. Severe weather's over. Memphis Junction in the clear, just about. The heavy wind is pushing to your east. Where we're not worried about severe weather anymore. Downtown Bowling Green points west. Auburn is good. Russellville, Lewisburg, Morgantown, severe weather threat is over. Still hanging on near Adairville, Franklin, and especially into Allen County. Smiths Grove, it's pushing east of you, but likely still some very heavy wind. You can see our Sexton Bin Builder Skycam in Gold City, which is right where that heavy wind is on top of right now in that tornado warning. Here is the view from our Sexton Bin Builder Skycam in Gold City. Camera's shaking. There's rain everywhere, as you'd expect. Possible we've lost access to lost the connection to the WPBM Skycam, Barron River Lake, which makes sense. We're losing power everywhere. We have quite a few power outages. Landon's without power, he's told me. This is the Warren RACC map for power outages. Let me get there here. This is the Warren RACC map. They have 9,485 customers without power. Not all of those are directly in our area, but that is quite a bit. They have about 5,000 out in Warren County. They have about 1,500 out in Logan County, which is nearly half of their customers. They have areas east of Russellville. Simpson County, nearly 400. More than 300 in Butler County. 32 in Edmonson County. Warren RACC has about 7,000 out throughout downtown and throughout Warren County. This is the power outage.us map, which is currently tracking about 104,000 outages throughout the state. Hasn't completely updated yet, doesn't look like. Yeah, because it's still got only 16 out in Warren County, and that's clearly not correct. So, back to the radar view. And there is our tornado warning right here near Pope. It's north of Red Hill now. Between Butlersville and Red Hill is where the greatest threat for a spin-up tornado would be. These would be your smaller type, quick hitting, but they can do damage. Obviously, if they hit your house, that's a problem. So we need to watch very, 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 very closely as this pushes through. This is going to be near downtown Scottsville. All right. Take a second to breathe. Eastern side of WABBLES now getting in on it. So this is going to be coming up on Glasgow. Much of Barron County. 60 to 70 mile per hour. 60 to 70 mile per hour winds possible. That's why we tell you to bolt those things down. One of God's frisbees got thrown. Jamie sent us this. I don't think that's her trampoline or his trampoline. I don't think that's their trampoline. God's frisbees on the prowl. So, again, very heavy wind potential is now pushing through Barron County. This is coming down 68, Oil City, Haywood, Glasgow. Watching a little bit maybe of some rotation north of Barron River Lake. East of Rocky Hill. Near 31 near the community of Lucas. Watching that. This is moving toward the radar. It's moving away from the radar. There's no tornado warning for this. I believe it's a tornado possible tag on the severe thunderstorm warning. But there is no tornado warning for Barron County at this point. Bear with me just 1 second. Our greatest tornado threat will be near downtown Scottsville. I'm not saying there's a tornado on the ground. We don't have an observed on that, but the potential is there for a tornado near Scottsville. That's where there's some rotation we need to pay attention to. Would imagine they're going to trim up. They trimmed up the severe thunderstorm warning. So Franklin, you're done with the severe thunderstorm warning. Russellville, Adairville done. Bowling Green's done. Smiths Grove just a little bit longer. One second here. Again, powerful winds pushing into Glasgow now. Powerful, powerful winds in excess of 70 miles per hour will continue to be possible as this continues to push off to the east. Into Glasgow. Man. Looks like they are dealing with the potential for a tornado that's well east of our region. We still have the tornado warning for our area. Just checking in on a couple of things here as this continues to push off to the east. Severe thunderstorm warning expiring for an earlier warning. So here's the deal. We still have a severe thunderstorm warning for Barron County, for Allen County, in eastern parts of Edmonson County, though your threat is ending. In Warren County, your threat is ending. Yeah. Still have the tornado warning. This is going to be near Scottsville, very close to Scottsville. If there is anything on the ground, it's very diffuse at this point. Getting reports now of tree on a house out on 3 Springs Road and 2 people are trapped. Trees on mobile homes. People trapped Greenwood Estates off Scottsville Road. That's what we're doing here. That's what we have to watch out for, which is why we tell you always to evacuate mobile homes in situations like this. Here's the deal. Bowling Green's done. Bowling Green, you can go to bed. Scottsville, you can go to bed. Morgantown, all of Butler County. Russellville, you can go to bed. Adairville, give me a little bit. Glasgow, it's on top of you now. Potential for 60 to 70 mile per hour winds. South of town, that will quickly be pushing out. We may be able to get finished with this in about 20 minutes. Winds are going to hit Scottsville. It's on top of Scottsville now. All right, the potential is there. I'm not seeing much of a tornado threat with this at the moment, but you can get a quick spin up. Tornado warning technically continues until 10:45. Yeah, 10:45. Once this line clears, if it is finished for you, you're done. All right? If you know where you are on the map, and you very well should, if you are west of this line and north of it, done. Severe weather threats over, but still dealing with very large numbers of power outages. We got about 12,000 in our region without power right now. Yeah, here's the updated numbers from excuse me, the updated numbers from poweroutages.us, third-party site. But BGMU has about 6,000 out. Warren RECC, at least 3,100, probably more than that. They just put in the local storm report for the tornado earlier near Russellville. I imagine at some point that's going to be surveyed. So we'll have to watch it. We'll have to see where that happens and when. It was likely brief earlier. That was earlier. That was, more than an hour ago. But yeah, 3,900 out or so. Probably more than that in Logan County from Pennyrile and Warren RECC. 131,000 customers throughout the state without power. Nearly half of Spencer County, the Taylorsville area without power. Simpson County 320, Butler County 444, probably more than that now. Warren RECC has 1,500 out in. Warren RECC has 32% of their customers in Warren County out. They also have 52% of their customers in Logan County without power. They serve the northeastern sections of Logan County. About 7,100 now without power in the BGMU service area. Just getting the latest on some pictures here, just checking on things. We're close, folks, to winding this down. We're close. We're not there yet. We got a little bit longer. Switch back to the radar. We still have this tornado warning it's mostly for Allen County now. Sirens may still be going off in Warren County, but the tornado threat has long since passed in Warren County. Scottsville on top of you now, but the worst is pushing east and south and east. I imagine if I could see this warning expiring. It's supposed to have another 5 minutes. We'll see. Most of Warren County, safe to go to bed. Most of, if not all of Logan County, safe to go to bed. Butler County, Edmondson County. Still got a bit to go in Simpson County, in Allen County, and in Barron County. But the heaviest threat is pushing east shortly into Metcalfe County. Hiceville cleared, not yet, but the threat is waning a little bit. Tornado pushing towards Scottsville. We have nothing on the ground. It's probably past Scottsville. Krista's asking, after this passes through Scottsville, will be clear? Yes. And I'm not seeing any dramatic rotation. With this. So I would imagine if this were me, and I'm not a weather service meteorologist, those guys are doing yeoman's work tonight. This warning probably be let go. They haven't extended it further east. Sorry, just got sent a spotter picture of a tornado that did damage near Somerset, Kentucky. If you know where that is, at Pulaski County. That storm, we still have our severe weather. It's slowly coming to an end. Is it moving toward Allen County? You're in Allen County right now. Over with in Butler County, you can go to bed. See this warning out here? Just got a new one. My eastern Kentucky days, that's Laurel, Clay, and Knox counties out east Kentucky. That's the storm that went through Bowling Green in Glasgow a couple hours ago. That went through Paducah. That started out in Missouri. And it is still producing tornadoes. That's incredible. That is... I can't think of a proper adjective for that. That is... wow. Just simply wow. You don't see that very often. And that is, if you know anybody who's out toward Manchester, Kentucky, who's out in the mountains, the Daniel Boone National Forest, out toward Hayden and Hazard, give them a call. This thing is on the ground. That is a PDS tornado warning. That is well east of us, by the way. That storm has already passed us. So, still have the tornado warning. Technically, it's probably going to expire. We'll stay on for a little while longer. But then we will wrap this up here probably within the next 10 to 15 minutes. A lot of folks, is WKU okay? Yeah, we're done at WKU. The severe weather threat is over. Franklin is still dealing with some very heavy rain, but the wind, the worst of the wind is to your south. We're now coming up on 1045. The tornado warning looks like it'll be allowed to expire. I haven't seen anything new from the Weather Service. We've really lost, the tornado warning has been allowed to expire for Allen County. Still dealing with the heavy push of wind in southern Allen County. Adolphus, Petroleum, Fleet. Down that way, some heavy wind, Mount Zion, and famous Amos. I say that. I've been to Amos on a survey before, about 6 years ago. Wonderful folks down there. Excuse me. We've pushed the heaviest of the wind now east of our area from Barron into Metcalfe County. So we're quickly coming to the end of this. All right. Sherry's asking about Menifee and Morgan County. That is well off to our east. That is severe thunderstorm warnings out in the mountains. I would turn to your favorite weather source out there. We don't really cover that area. Can Franklin go to bed? Yes. Again, the severe weather threat has come to an end for most of us. The only exceptions being south of Glasgow and east of Scottsville, still dealing with some heavy rain, maybe some small hail, but we have dropped the tornado threat, which makes sense. Tornado warning expired. The Mesonet site in Barron County had a 60-mile-per-hour gust. So we have more than verified these severe thunderstorm warnings this evening. But the good news is we're coming down to the end of it for this evening, for tonight. See these storms pushing east. They're canceling the watch out this way. It will be canceled shortly. It's set to go till midnight. In fact, hold on. Even that's not great. Hang on. Wow. Been at this so long, I forgot how to spell. You see what this spring has done to me? Anyway. All clear. Bowling Green, Morgantown, Brownsville, coming up on Franklin, Russellville, Glasgow even. You guys are done. Smiths Grove, go to bed. Severe weather threat is over with. They're hanging on for a little bit longer. The heaviest of the wind has now pushed east of the Warren or the Barron Metcalfe County line. Still dealing until we can get this leading edge out of the way. Severe thunderstorm warning continues through it goes all the way to 11:15. But, again, that warning goes well a ways. So, Franklin, you guys are done. Portland, Tennessee. Remember my volunteer geography. Still dealing with some heavy rain. You're under severe thunderstorm warning in Portland, Tennessee. But the threat is quickly wrapping up. We'll probably, again, hop off here within about 10 to 15 minutes. Bowling Green, safe to go to sleep? Yes. What a day. What a day. Quite a severe weather event. Outbreak. I think you can call it an outbreak. That worked through the Ohio Valley. They are still warning cells out east. See these polygons out here. That is a dangerous tornado on the ground that is pushing toward Manchester, Kentucky, which it's been about 16 years since I think they had an EF3 out that way about 16 years ago, I want to say. I want to say that was the same day Murfreesboro got hit. I think. April of 09? Bear with me, I was in middle school back then. Westmoreland, Tennessee, husband's driving home from Lebanon. Northern Middle Tennessee is kind of out of our coverage area, but you got a little bit to go there south of the border. Those will be coming up on Nashville here soon. Tornado threat has diminished all the way, it looks like. Portland, Tennessee, leading edge should be on top of you now. But that's continuing to weaken. That's the good news. I want to get this little area of purple out of eastern Allen County and southern Barron County, get that into Monroe County, and then we'll hop off because we are finishing it up here. Because, again, the Weather Service is very busy. The Weather Service in Louisville shaving things down there, shaving it off. those warnings and watches. Bear with me just 1 second. Background. Sorry. Yeah. So, I said 10 minutes. We may be able to go ahead and just hop off because the leading edge is where the severe weather would be, and that is pushing now east of our area. So, Bowling Green is good to go to sleep. No more storms tonight. This is it. Russellville, you're done. Franklin, you're done. Tornado threat is done. Still some gusty winds in Scottsville for a little while longer, back into eastern Simpson County, southern Barron County, and pushing into out of our area into Metcalfe and Monroe County. So we're going to go ahead and hop off because Louisville done. Yes, Louisville's done for our folks up at UPS up there. We're all done. Severe weather is over with for the most part for the night. We have no more big storms headed our way, and so we're going to go ahead and hop off now just because we've been on for 2 straight hours, and it's time for some sleep. It's time to get some rest after this one. So, obviously, I don't think it'll happen. If anything happens, we'll hop back on, but Missy's asking about East Bernstadt. I'll say this before we hop off. The big cell is south of East Bernstadt, but we'll have to watch it. There was another big one, East Bernstadt, in 2012. I would recommend folks, if folks have somehow from Eastern Kentucky tuned in, I would recommend, because we're about to end our coverage. Our coverage focuses on South Central Kentucky, Bowling Green, and the surrounding counties. I would recommend finding another source of weather information, perhaps one a little closer to home. I know of a good one that's based in Hazard. No bias. Anyway, but for us here in the WABBLES community, we are finished. One more damage report came in about an hour ago. Excuse me. You can see what this has done to me. Trees blown over and uprooted on London Drive. But we'll hop off for the night. Could take a while to get power back on, but we thank you all for sticking in there with us tonight for what has been one heck of a severe weather event, and hopefully we can calm things down a little bit. I know we have more storms in the forecast next week. Severe weather threat, it's not zero, but it certainly looks less than what we saw tonight. We'll keep an eye on it. For now, go to bed. Enjoy your weekend. Looks beautiful. For meteorologist Landon Hampton and our team here, meteorologist Evan Hatter, and we are